Everybody, welcome back. This is going to be my test and review of the VEVOR portable power station solar generator. It is 296 watt hours and has 300 watts of output. So let's get it out of the box. Let's take a look at it, and then we will pop over to VEVOR's website and we will see the claims they make about it, and then we're going to put this thing to the test. And oh, by the way, VEVOR did send this to me. I did not have to pay for it, so this is a sponsored video. But these seem to be really popular right now among both people looking for, you know, something to help them out when there's a power outage, or to take camping or fishing or hunting. And I have just gotten some solar panels myself, so I'm kind of excited about this. And I know some of you hate unboxing videos, and, you know, I kind of like them because I kind of like to see what comes in it. Looks like there's a big old box in there, so let's kind of do one of those. Ah, there is. It's the infamous box in a box. This is the first time I've opened this. So we have a manual. This is a SGR PPS 300-3, I guess, or at least so the manual states. Whole bunch of tech specs, package contents, readouts and display. English looks really good so far. Okay, yeah, we're going to come back to that. Let's get the rest of it out. Looks like it's packaged nice. Ooh, it has a handle. I like handles. So there's the unit itself. We have in-out 100 watt USB-C, then a PD 27 watt, and then a QC 3.0 and two QC 3.0 USB ports. We have an input from 12 to 24 volts. We have 210 volt, 300 watt max output, you know, regular AC outlets. And then I'm assuming this is a car charger. What is that? Yep, cigarette lighter. And then two 12.6 to 16.5 volt, looks like barrel jacks. I don't know exactly what they're for. There's the bottom. There's the sides. Got a fan in the side to keep the power pack cool. There is some information on the back, and looks like there is a light on the side. Oh, and what do you know? We have three. Oh, and we have what? SOS? Yep. We have SOS as well as 3 power outputs for the light. Oh, and there we go. 99 hours, it says on it. 65% charge. I'm going to get this on charge, and let's pop over to VEVOR's website and take a look at it. Oh, let's see what else you get in the box first. Here's another small box. Looks like we're going to have some cords. There's a cigarette lighter cord with a barrel jack. I guess that would be to go from the barrel jack here into your car cigarette lighter. Of course, there's a cigarette lighter on here too. And then here is a standard, you know, electronic type power cord, computer type power cord. Here's another box. And here we have a charging cable, a charging box for it, power supply unit for it. This is, I can't read it very well. Can't read it. Can you read it? I'll let you guys read it, because I can't read it. Anyway, I can't read it there. 1.6, this is 19 volts at 3 amps, 57 watts. So typical, pretty close to being what would be considered a notebook power supply. And that's all that's in the box. So, okay, let's take a quick look at it and see what happens when we plug it in. Input is right here, 12 to 24. That's where we're going to charge it, I'm assuming. I'm not going to look at the instructions first. I'm just going to plug it in there and see what happens. Nothing. Nothing happened. Oh, there we go. All right. There we go. It did power up. And you can see the little battery indicator says it's charging by flashing up and down in the middle. 56 watts input. I'm guessing the 2 hours is how long it's going to take before it's fully charged. Okay, Good, let's go take a look at their marketing info on it, and we'll see what they claim it can do before we come back and really test it. So here it is over on VEVOR's website. VEVOR Portable Power Station Solar Generator, 296 watt hour, 300 watt backup lithium battery, $269. But if you register and sign in, you can get it for $199. And I will put coupon codes below for it. Might save you a little bit more. So what they say about it, obviously it is 296 watt hours, and the two front AC ports can put out 300 watts maximum. I'm sure it's between the two of them. And probably there's 9 ports, so it's probably 300 watt max between all. No, that's not what it says. It says 2 times AC output, 300 watt max. So it does have 9 ports, and it can also be charged 2 methods simultaneously. So you can charge via the regular AC power supply with the barrel jack, and you can also charge through one of the USB-C ports if you really want to charge it fast. Can be charged via a solar panel or your car cigarette lighter as well, and has a nice little display on the front, and they give you some more information about it here. Here's some different things it can run and about how long it will run them for. Larger battery capacity, 3,000 cycles lifespan, and some questions and answers. There's some specs you might be interested in. So let's take a look at the manual here while we're waiting for it to charge. You'll note that there is a spec sheet there and user instructions there. Press the power button, and it has multiple power buttons on it, which I find to be interesting. You can turn the individual ports on and off. If you look down here, there's a power button here that turns the AC ports on and off. And there's a power button here that turns the USB ports on and off. And there's a power button here that turns these DC ports on and off. And there's there's a light at the bottom. I don't know if you saw that, but there's a light at the bottom of the LCD panel, a symbol that shows you when those are turned on and off. Let's take a better look at those. So I'm going to turn the DC on right now, and you can see there's a little symbol that looks like the end of a barrel jack and says DC. If we turn on the AC, we get a little thing that looks like an AC outlet and says AC next to it. And if we turn on Type C, which it's already on because I'm charging it that way, it won't turn off now because I'm charging it that way. Let me take that charger out of it because that's really not doing that much. And now we can turn that on and off. You see down there where it says Type C. Now Type C is turned, those ports are turned completely off. So it's kind of nice to individually be able to turn those on and off. I can't think of a lot of times I would need that function, but I guess it might save battery if the ports themselves aren't powered, or maybe you can leave things plugged into it and power it off instead of unplugging and replugging all the time. So here shows you the remaining battery charge. This shows you the minutes left in the battery. This shows you the output or input, and it'll say input or output depending on how much power is going in. There is an icon on the screen for over temperature. There's an icon on the screen for when the fans are running, and there's an icon down here at the bottom for all those different ports. And it has an auto sleep mode, which turns off after 1 hour when the wattage goes below 2 watts on any one of the ports. It'll shut down after an hour. 6 to 7 hours fully charged on the AC adapter. If you want to go out and buy yourself a 100-watt USB wall charger, it'll charge it in 2.5 to 3.5 hours. And like I say, you can use those. You can use those at the same time to cut the charging time down even further. Car charging 3.3 to 4.3 hours, and solar charging on a 120-watt solar panel 3 to 4 hours. Okay, as you can see, we are fully charged back up. And I have a number of items here to try to run off it, some of which I think it will run, and a few which I'm kind of questionable, and one which I'm sure it won't. So let's start with something pretty easy. How about a wireless phone charger? So let's plug that in Plug that into the USB port. And we'll make sure our USB ports are turned on. Oh, that's power on and off. There we go. USB ports are turned on. Here is my Samsung Galaxy S10. It's down to about 40%. Let's put it on the charger and see what happens. There we go. It is charging. Says 49%, 1 hour and 48 minutes until full. And it looks like it's pulling 3 to 5 watts of power. Let's also, while we're here, let's plug another phone in. Here's the old Galaxy A12 or A11, I forget. I looked all over for a USB-C to USB-C connector, and I could not find one. So we're going to have to use 2 normal USB. And there we go. And that now says charging. And now we're pulling 7 watts of power. 6 watts, 7, and says it can keep this up for about 21 hours now. 9 watts. Oh, 14 watts. One of them went into overdrive. 14 watts of power, says it can do this for 14 hours. So here's something pretty simple. This little table lamp, and right now it's got what it says is a 13-watt LED bulb in it. Let's plug it in, and let's make sure our AC ports are turned on. They are. Let's plug it in, and let's turn it on. Oh, that's nice and bright. So now we're charging 2 phones, running a 13-watt LED bulb, and it says we can keep this up for 10 hours. We're hot, so let's plug a fan in. I have two little fans here. This one's old. This one also oscillates. Let's plug it in. If I can find the cord. There it is over there. Let's plug it in too. And we're going to turn it on. And let's turn it up to high. Is that high? That was high. There's high. Now we're pulling 50 watts, 52, and it says we can do that for 5 hours. So that's pretty good. Let's try some things that we don't think it can run or might push it a little bit. And of course, you shouldn't be using this thing to power shop tools. I'm sure that's not what VEVOR designed it for or what you should really probably be doing with it, but you know what? What the heck? Let's try it. So let me unplug these. We'll leave the phones plugged in just for sport and amusement. Let's first try this little Dremel tool. I don't honestly know what this little Dremel tool pulls. I've had this thing forever. It's a pretty good sized Dremel tool. And does it say what it pulls on it? It does not. So we're at 14 right now with the 2 phones. Let's plug it in. Let's turn it all the way down to its slowest speed. There we go. Let's crank the speed up. That's full speed on it. So it has no problem charging the two phones. Let's put a little bit of drag on it too. So should you want to charge 2 phones and use a Dremel tool, you could do that for 5 hours off of this. Let's try. Oh, you know what? Let's try. Look what I got back here. Let's unplug the phones for now. And let's try this. This is a little 3-inch grinder from Harbor Freight. And this is something that for a while I was using quite a bit. Can I find the cord to it? Where's the plug? Okay, this one. Yep, that one. Okay, let's try this. We still say 100% there. See if it'll run this. What happened? AC is turned off. It turns off the outlets, it looks like, when there's no draw coming out of them. So you got to remember to turn them back on if you need them. Okay, here we go. Let's turn it up to full speed. That's full speed, so that's 150, 127, 123, and it can do that for 2 hours. Let's put a little bit of a load on it. So with a little load on it, that shoots up to 137 watts. You can do that for 2 hours using that little power station if you'd like. You know what? Let's throw caution to the wind and let's try this halogen lamp, because this is a 296 watt power station and this is a 300 watt halogen work lamp. Now, I'm not going to point it right at the camera because that would be mean. So I'm going to point it back there because it is stupid bright. I haven't used these things in years just because they get so hot. There it is. It is on. 255. Yeah, 255 watts it says it's pulling. Says it can run that for an hour. You know what? We're going to have to do a rundown test here too. But I'm surprised it runs that. I figured at 296, I figured that'd pull 300 and make it cut out. But it doesn't. Kind of surprised. Very happy, but kind of surprised. Don't know why you'd want to run something like this. I would use an LED one and probably a rechargeable one. But yeah, 255, holding it just fine. So let's try something that we know is gonna overpower it. This is a Conair 1875 watt hair dryer. I'm gonna start it out on low because I think this might run it on low. There we go, we're on low. Nope, we're already show 378. Yep, and it cut out. Let's go back to that light. I want to see the fans come on. Well, here's that 250, although it says on it 300, halogen light. Let's turn them back on. Well, I'm going to let it run for a bit, and then we'll see how long it goes before it turns the fan on. Okay, the fan's just turned on. After running this for about 15 minutes, I don't know if you can see it from there, but in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little spinning blue fan blade icon, and you can hear the fan on the side running. So 15 minutes at, what is that, 90% of its maximum output, and it turned the fan on in a 77-degree environment. So what I want to do next is, you know what, let's do before we do that? Let's run it up to its max output. Let's plug one of these fans in. Let's plug this fan in because I think this fan pulls about 30. So let's do that. Let's get this thing up to its maximum output and see if it can get close to 70. Let's turn the speed up. To 80. Let's turn the oscillating motor on. There's the oscillating motor. 282. All right, let's plug one of the phones in to charge. Here's the completely dead phone. Let's plug it into charge. It's now charging. We're still not up to its maximum, still only sitting at 285. All right, let's plug another phone in. Here's the wireless charger. I'm kind of impressed with this little thing. I didn't honestly know what to think. I've only ever had the little bitty, you know, power banks that take 2 or 3 or 4 18650s. So 289. Let's put this phone on to charge. There it is, it's charging. 290, 293, 295. So we are at its rated maximum. It says 290, there's 296, 298. I smell something, but it's that halogen lamp. Let's let it hold that for 10 minutes. Okay, so we have been running this maximum load on it for, I don't know, about 10 minutes nonstop. And fan's running full speed. It's holding it just fine. And you know what? This is 296 watt hours. It should hold that for 1 hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge it all the way back up, and we'll give it a torture test at its maximum output and see if it'll run it for an hour. So let me get it charged all the way back up. Okay, everything's still plugged in. We are back to 100%. I'm going to pull the charge cord out now. I got a wristwatch here to keep track of time. Let's turn it all on. Both phones are over here. I took the phone, the wireless phone off, the wireless charging phone off the top so I could keep track of the temperature of the top. And let's switch everything on and let's see what it does. So let's turn these powers on first. There comes the light. I got to switch the fan on. Okay, fan's on, lights on. Let's turn the USB on. There's the USB on. Both phones are charging. We are at 286 watt hours, so it's going to run it for an hour, and we are 519 on the watch. Okay, my battery warning light is now flashing, telling me it's at 1%. But it's still pumping out 260 watts and all the devices are still functioning. So let's see how much longer it'll go. Okay, at 6:13, the load came off it and the unit turned itself off. So what did I say that was? So this will be my second attempt to get a little video of charging it with solar panels, because I did it yesterday at about 12:30 and it was so bright out here you couldn't see the screen on the charging station, and I was just blind the whole time because of how bright the desert sun is at noon. So it is now about 9:35, and I know it's kind of suboptimal, but the sun is up kind of coming in at an angle on the solar panels. But hopefully we can get this done, and I got a box I can put the power station in, and maybe we can see the screen on it. So VEVOR recommends a 120 watt solar panel and just hooking it directly up to the power station. I do not have a 120 watt solar panel, and they say don't connect the solar panel to it that's any higher than 24 volts. This solar panel here is 7 watts, and these are 250, and unfortunately the big ones are 36 volts. So I've got to use a charge controller, and I've got to hook this up as the battery to the charge controller. If I hooked it up as the load and put a battery on it, then it would be the battery charging the power station, not the solar panel. So I'm going to hook it up as the battery with no load. And of course this also does not have a setting for lithium ion or LiPo batteries. So I don't know how well it's going to do, but you know what? I think I got something out of it yesterday, so let's give it a try. Okay, I've got the power station in a box. I hope that's visible because I can't see anything already out here. It looks like you can see the screen on there. Let's start with the little 7 watt solar panel. I'm going to plug it directly into the USB-C charging input, and I'm going to tip it up to the sun, and let's see what kind of power we get on that. So I see it shows it as charging, and I'm shading it, looking in the box to see what it's showing. Let me set it up on top of the box so I can do both at once. So that should be pointed right at the sun now. And there's not a cloud in the sky today. So that looks like it's showing, what, a 2-watt charge? So it looks like about 2 watts is all we're going to get out of this solar panel at 9 a.m. on a spring day. Let's go ahead and try the big one and see what the big one shows. We'll unplug this one. And let's connect the big one and see what happens. I'm going to plug it into here first. I'm going to plug it into the charging barrel jack. And let's connect it to the solar panel. Okay, so there we go. Turned on and connected. 18 watts. I haven't quite got this charge controller completely figured out yet. And I know there should be a load connected, but there's not. 32 watts, 40. Charge controller's trying to figure out what the heck I've got connected to it. There is no setting for lithium ion or LiPo batteries on this charge controller. So it kind of bounces back and forth between thinking it's charged . 49 watts, 55, 57. So eventually it does get it figured out. 62. So yeah, there we go. 63 watts and 2 hours of charge time on a used 250 watt solar panel. So I'm impressed with the little VEVOR power station. It absolutely did everything I could ask of it. Build quality seems to be really high. Functionality is really excellent. Oh, one thing to note about the rundown test is 296 watt hour battery at 296 watts at a 90% conversion rate, which is what they claim in the manual, would run for 54 minutes. And that is exactly how long my rundown time lasted. Now, I was not at the maximum the whole time. I think for a little while I might have been above it, but most of the time I was pretty close to it, but a little below it. The last 5 minutes or so of the test, it dropped from, you know, the 290s down into the 260s, and then it turned itself off. But I think that's pretty impressive. I think the battery is actually what VEVOR claims it to be, or very close. The solar test worked out well. I mean, it did everything I could ask for it. I like the fact that it has a light in the side of it. I think that's really nice. So pretty much you're going to be using this during a power outage or on a camping trip at night. So having the light in the side of it is really nice because you don't need to waste a port plugging a light into it. Also, my only real bone of contention with it, and it's not really being fair, is that this screen is not visible in bright sunlight. It's perfectly visible under bright lights indoors. It's visible at night. It's visible on a cloudy day, that kind of thing. And it's going to be a trade-off. You're going to put a screen like this on, and it won't be visible in the desert sunlight at noon. Whereas if you put an LCD panel on it, it would be visible in the desert sun at noon, but its visibility at night is going to suck. So, you know, I think it's more important for it to be visible at night and in low light, since this is a power outage device, than it is to be visible in the desert sun. So I would have liked it to be more visible, but you know what? I can't really find fault with it at that. One thing I think that would make an improvement in it is to put a wireless charger somewhere up here in the top so that you could just set a phone on it. That way you could charge a phone and have a light without having a single thing plugged into it or needing to carry anything around with you. And I think that'd be really nice. But, you know, besides that, it's a super nice little device. And I think anybody who bought it for its intended purpose would be very happy with it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to look below for a coupon code for this, and I will catch you guys in the next one. And thanks again to VEVOR for providing this for this video. Thanks again. Bye for now.